Crowd favorite, John. He brings a much-needed conservative-minded perspective to a movement that is seen a lot of times as being only left-leaning. And we all know that's not true, but that is the perception out there that we're battling. I've personally learned a lot from him, and so have our Wolfpack volunteers. He has attended every single Wolfpack Warrior workshop that we've had to date, which we really appreciate. He comes and speaks every year, and we love having him there. And he's also just a really good guy, and a fairly good karaoke singer from what I've heard. So we're thrilled to have John Pudner as part of this movement, so welcome John Pudner.
Well, if we were able to pick theme songs as we approach the microphone, it would not have been The Real Me by The Who, which I did sing, unfortunately, once after a few drinks. But it probably would have been the Sesame Street. One of these things just doesn't belong here. That might have been me today, because I've had great in-depth arguments with several people here on some hot-button issues. The Electoral College. Dr. Lessig and I spent 10 minutes on that the other day on his podcast. Even voter ID and 600-pound gorilla impeachment. So I've had a lot of arguments on other issues. I really am conservative grounded in a lot of ways, and so my message is partly to conservatives on this. Why have we been able to build a group, Take Back Our Republic, of conservatives who are concerned about some of these same issues? And that's because there's no reason a conservative should support Citizens United decision or all the decisions that led up to it on any count. You go through the issues. Conservatives generally believe that capitalism is the best supplier of human needs, that it's worked better than communism in Russia or socialism in Venezuela. You can at the same time support a pay-for-play system that replaces the marketplace and small businesses meeting needs with pay-for-play from corporations who can get policies skewed to them and win that way instead of in the marketplace. I just say it's inconsistent with conservative values right there.
All right.
Conservatives generally believe in kind of a moral fabric along the Book of Virtues Bill Bennett wrote years ago, where all religions and all cultures have had certain moral values that are a necessary foundation for a democratic republic, that it works better. Well, we can't say that the Supreme Court has become too activist and has made decisions over the years that undermine some of these values, and at the same time say it's acceptable to the Supreme Court to extend rights for corporations that no one saw for 200 years. The founders didn't write about them. No one saw them until the 60s, I'd say. First time you start to have this feeling that corporations might be people. It's just inconsistent for conservatives to say an activist court should go out and say you cannot put in any anti-corruption law at any level, whether that be limits on fundraising or whatever you need in your state. So that's inconsistent with conservative thought. To that vein, conservatives generally will say that they think government closer to the people is better able to enact what a community needs, local government versus federal government, etc. This is almost conservative dogma. And yet to see people now using Citizens United to go out and try to say that even a state that is seeing corruption, say in Montana, and needs to put laws in to stop that, can't do it. That the decision has to come from the court to say none of your local laws, none of your state laws are valid. So the idea that government needs to be close to the people is completely thrown out the window by this whole train of thought. And I'd say this, President Trump in the midterm elections actually was only the second president besides FDR to take out 4 U.S. senators from the other party. One he didn't take out was John Tester, though, in Montana. And if you look at that campaign, John Tester at just about every stop said, I want to talk about one endorsement I have. It's from a group called End Citizens United. And all the people who voted for Trump in Montana to drain the swamp said, yeah, I like a guy who's endorsed by a group that wants to end Citizens United. And this is in a pure red state. So that gets to the last argument. There's some conservatives who will admit on all those other issues, judicial activism, the local government, et cetera, that Citizens United is bad policy, but they'll get that, but I think it helps us in elections. Well, I would argue even that's not true if you're a conservative. It definitely was for the first several years after Citizens United, but by these last midterms, there was more dark money on the left than on the right. I mean, if conservatives think they're going to outbid the guy they seem to hate the most, George Soros and Michael Bloomberg and Tom Steyer, they're not going to even win that bidding war. So even the selfish argument about some Republicans that I think this is going to help us win, I mean, Trump was outspent 2-1. I think it's actually bad politics for conservatives if you're really a conservative and not just part of an establishment. So much more importantly, it's terrible policy, but I think it's even bad politics. And I think rank and file conservatives get this. That's why they're joining groups like Take Back Our Republic. And on these issues, we look forward to working with everyone here to change this policy.
All right.